He opened his eyes and looked around. The room was dark and empty. It looked like a dark room. This room used to eat him every day. Tears came out of his eyes and rolled down his cheeks. He had never cried in his life. He didn't even know what cry was called. But now he felt like crying in a good way. He had learned to cry. Yes, I had learned. A man never cries, but some memories spent with his beloved and some loving moments spent with her make him cry. He starts crying even though he doesn't want to. The same thing happened to him. He was sitting up from the bed. Even though there was light in the room, it seemed dark to him. Just like his life was shattered, he looked at the palms of his hands and then brought them closer to his nose. He could still smell henna's scent in his nose, the scent that his love, his beloved, and his wife had put on him a few days after their marriage. The henna had come off, but she could still smell it. He used to cry now and then, remembering his wife. The empty room seemed like a dark prison to him. Now crying was his destiny. His parents repeatedly expressed their desire to settle him in a new home, but each time he refused, not wanting to be unfaithful to his beloved wife. He got up slowly, freshened up, and came out into the yard where Amma was cooking breakfast. Seeing his pale and withered face, the mother's liver also came to her mouth. What would poverty do now? Who can stand before nature? All are helpless and forced before him. Henna was happily married to her son, but Henna was not in his life. She left this world in less than a year, leaving the entire in-laws crying. After all, Aftab's heart was his love. He had love. He used to pour his life on it. As soon as Henna came into his life smelled of flowers of happiness. He would not let her out of his sight even for a moment. His happiness was his parents' happiness, so they were also happy to see their son happy. Sometimes happiness proves to be temporary. A person thinks that now only happiness is happiness, but they are a mirage. Aftab also understood that Henna's arrival brought happiness, but he did not know that Henna would suddenly leave him and this happiness would also go away, and now she had become his own. He always remembered that moment when Eid came a few days after the wedding. He brought new suits, bangles and high-quality jewelry for his begum, and henna with it so that his wife will look good on the day of Eid. As soon as Henna sat down to apply mehndi on the moon night, she jokingly applied mehndi on Aftab's palms as well. On the day of Eid, along with henna, her henna was also bright. Eid passed with laughter and smiles. The color of the henna on both hands had not faded yet when Henna became confused. It was such a shock that it was enough to make everyone cry. Aftab looked at the palms of his hands again and again. This was the last sign of Henna that remained with him. Now the color of henna is not permanent like henna. It also faded slowly, but the scent of henna did not leave the palm. Aftab would wake up every morning and put his palms close to his nose and smell the scent of henna. His life had become sad. Why does the son keep crying? No one can avoid Allah's decisions. Just do it now, Amma said while giving him breakfast. She was also crying while saying this. No, mother, this crying has become my destiny. Now there is no other option. Without his saying this, he started crying even more. It seemed as if Sarah Jahan was crying in her grief.